many entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, people thinking about having a business is how to get it all done. Now, I find that oftentimes they're talking about how to get it all done in their one business, not multiple businesses and their life in general. I'm excited today because my guest on Make It Click is my dear friend and serial entrepreneur, Elaine Zelker. She believes in the importance of staying true to your values, following your passion, and never giving up your dreams. Now, whether you're an entrepreneur, as I said, a busy parent, or simply someone looking for inspiration on how to manage your many responsibilities, this episode is sure to provide valuable insights and practical tips to help you juggling it all. Welcome to the show, Elaine. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to finally see you again and meet with you and chat with your friends and followers. I'm super excited. I can't wait to dig in.
Yes, yes. Well, yes, before we reveal your secret, I'd like to share with our audience a little bit of who Elaine is. What is it that you're juggling now? Like as a serial, when I hear serial entrepreneur, I'm thinking like maybe somebody who has had a business, they started another one and worked it to fruition and then started something else. So like they
Mhm.
kind of maybe only had one business at a time. But
Mm.
that's not the case for you.
No.
You've got multiple things. You're primarily a photographer, a
Mhm.
fantastic photographer for headshots,
Mhm.
but you also have a cafe. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 cafes with your husband?
Yeah. Yeah. But
Tell us
I
tell us
can't
more and
when you say just having one job, I kind of think that and I'm like, that would be for me personally, I mean, many people do, and that's awesome. I'd be bored out of my mind. A little back history for where I come from, what I'm doing now, and I'll summarize it and hopefully in 20 seconds. So, long story short, I have a bachelor's in psych and business. From there, I went to nursing school. So, I'm actually a registered nurse by trade. About 15 years ago, unfortunately, with the death of both my parents, I got a divorce. I have three beautiful, amazing, grown-up, beautiful women, daughters now. Um, After that, I took a shift in my life and really wanted to pursue what I loved, which was photography. And I met my current husband now, Zeke Zelker, who is this crazy filmmaker who really became that cheerleader to help me, build the person I was going to be. And having that accountability partner, my partner, somebody that collaborated with me, I was able to really dive in and become a photographer.
Mm,
But with that, I immediately found mentors, trained with the best. And over about 8 years into photography, because in the beginning with photography, you do everything, right? You do babies and infants and families. Whoever was going to pay me, I was going to shoot. So I did everything. In the meantime, I was still doing some nursing. I was doing per diem nursing and, trying to keep my foot in one door and in the other door. And I began to meet people and I would always say, "Oh, I used to be a nurse and now I'm a photographer." I was torn with who I was and my true identity. So, fast forward to about 5 or 6 years ago, I dropped the name photography in my website. So, because it was ElaineZelkerPhotography.com, which to me really pigeonholed who I was as a person. So anybody that I would meet and saw my card or my website would just assume that Elaine is just a photographer. And I hated that because I knew I was so much more than just anything. And I preach this over to over to again to my daughters, to my friends, to clients and customers. You are more than just a just. You're an and. And I finally got okay with being that. So I rebranded my whole entity of who I was, and I became Elaine Zelker LLC. And under that LLC, I was able now to put all of my entities, my photography, which I honed in, it became a brand and headshot photographer by studying with the best in the world. I'm a headshot photographer. I also wrote some books. I wrote journals on gratitude journaling and children journaling. I incorporated my photography with my hospice nursing and wrote a book called The Handsome Journey. So I was also an author. So where does that fit in with photography? It fits in with my brand, but not just the photographer side. Then I became heavy into network marketing. I had a team of over 500 people on a team doing network marketing and direct sales. And then my husband and I opened a cafe during COVID. So now, fast forward 2.5 years, we've got 3 cafes, which I co-own with him. And I also am a DIYer and I have a huge following like on YouTube and I have an Etsy store. So I'm constantly crafting. But each of those entities is part of who I am. There's a return of investment of something. I'm still a businesswoman. So that's kind of summary of who I am as a person. Here's my big brand and all the different things that I do under, my current brand, which is Elaine Zelker LLC, I guess. So that
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of
my goodness.
maybe a
It's
little
like
bit more than 20 seconds, but yeah.
I'm worn out already listening to everything that the I'm thinking though now, as you put all these things into place though, did you hone in on one area and get it running well? Now I know you're like myself, you're a systems person also.
Yes. Yes.
So you're very organized, which
Mhm.
really helps, and you're
Mhm.
very much into systems and processes
Correct.
and using the right technology also.
Mhm. Yes.
Um, as you were putting these different pieces into place, were you doing a few of them simultaneously, or
Oh,
do you
yeah.
look at like, put one into practice and get that going well and then add something? Because
Um,
we only have 24 hours in the day, so I'm
yeah.
like,
I'm huge in block scheduling my time. I'm old school, keep everything in a calendar. I write everything down. It's also in my phone just in case. But what if the phone blows up? I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. So systems right off the bat come with where my daily schedule, what I'm doing, where I'm going, who I'm meeting with. So that's like a physical thing that I write down. When I say block scheduling, for me, it changes kind of daily. I give myself uh, time to work on different businesses throughout the day, but I have a hard close on those times. For example, if I wake up in the morning, I'm up by 6:30 in the morning, I go downstairs, I have my coffee, I might do some journaling. I'll give myself till say 8:30, 9 o'clock. So say 7 o'clock to 8:30 is email time and Elaine Zelker photography time. So meaning I'm looking at my photography schedule. I might do some networking. I might do some Canva graphics for the day or for the week. I have an hour and a half. It's a hard stop though, because then I know I have to dive into cafe stuff. So then I dive into cafe stuff, say for 2 hours. I do some of that same thing. I check in with the team. I check in with my managers. My husband and I may talk and meet. And then it's a hard close to move on to something else. Now I do that throughout the day. However, life, there's going to be curveballs. I've got 3 daughters. I've got, somebody might call out at the cafe, and guess what? All that goes away to the wayside, and I have to do what I need to do. I think putting limits on things on what I'm doing now in my life makes a big difference, because having the power to say no to things that don't work for me helps me attain my mission for the day, which is to get certain things done. And we'll talk about missions and stuff in a second. So block scheduling and really being my own boss in my own head to stick to my own schedule helps me tremendously throughout the day. And everything I do, there's a kind of a purpose behind it. I might crochet, but I'm doing, and it seems like, oh, she's got time to crochet, but there's the method behind the madness, because I may then put this little thing on Etsy as a pattern. Now I'm making residual income on the side that once it's done, the process is done. Now let it ride. So there's
yeah.
always a method behind the madness of what I'm doing to create more for my life, but there's always a little bit of return for it as a businesswoman of why I'm doing certain things.
Well, and you said that word mission. That's what we really wanted to talk about here
Yes.
today is what you discovered years ago that has
Mhm.
been your driving force
Yes.
behind
Yeah.
everything that you do
Yeah.
to keep you on target
100%.
and
Mhm.
accomplishing so much. Tell
Mhm.
us about that.
So when I remember I said earlier that I kind of felt torn of who I am as a person. Where's my drive coming from? I don't want to be known as somebody that, she's doing this and doing that, but who is she as a person? I had a mentor, I had a coach that I flew around the country and toured with and really got taught by, where it helped me come up with my own personal mission statement. Now, she was talking about missions in general. And with your mission, I also have visions and values that go along with that. So I created my own personal mission, which is to empower other women to use their gifts and talents to rise and soar. Now, I say that all the time. I say it daily in my head. I say it to people that I meet. I have it on little stickers. I put it in when I sell something on Etsy. I may put that in there, because my mission is truly who I am as a person, to empower other people to use their gifts and talents to rise and soar. Now, I get to do that in photography. I get to do that when I am shooting somebody for photography. They may walk in this door right here behind me and be very self-conscious when they come in, as most people are, to get headshots. Nobody comes in and says, I'm ready, I look beautiful, I feel fantastic. However, when they leave, they do. And I get whether 10 minutes with somebody or 2 hours with somebody. My mission and my vision to empower them gets fulfilled in that very short amount of time. Now, that takes training over time. My
Mhm.
skill is there, so I know how to do it. But connecting with somebody is truly my passion to empower them. And that's simply by talking with people, getting to know them. Before I shoot them in photography, I sit with every client and I get to know them, because as I'm talking to them, I may see them laugh, I may see them smile. So I know they can do it. So now when it's time to shoot, when they're in front of me, I know they've got that certain smile that they can bring out. So I empower them to do that. I
Yeah.
empower my team with Zcraft. I get to now pour into managers and my staff, men and women. So some of the stuff that I do, yes, I focus heavily on women, but my mission is really to empower anybody that I come in contact with, because that fulfills me. So I get to pour in with them by enabling them and empowering them to do the best that they can do in their circumstance, by not being a helicopter boss, by showing them the processes, how to do something, and then letting them do it, letting them make mistakes, going back in when I need to, meeting with them when I need to. So I get to empower there. I get to empower my children. I get to empower people by pouring into them, by teaching them about gratitude, growth, and goals, and creating your vision and your mission and things like that. So I do
Mhm.
boutique styled workshops here in my studio, where I can then pour into more people. So having that mission is something that guides my everyday, because, and here's the biggest thing. Remember, I talked about this before about the no. If it doesn't align with my mission, vision, and values, I do not do it. And it's saying no to things that people may expect me to do. Go to this meeting, go to that outing, join this club, come to this event at night. No, if it doesn't work for me and fulfill my vision, mission, and values, I don't do it. Not everything has a return of investment. I'm not that type of person. If it's not going to fulfill me, then, if there's certain things, for example, that aren't in line with my vision or values, I'm not going to do it.
Mhm.
And that took time to learn over years, the ability to say no and move on, and and to just do things for me that really truly fulfill that mission.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, so you figured it out, so, like, how long then did it take to, like, really take hold? Like, I would imagine today it's just second nature to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But how long
Hmm.
once it takes time to figure it out,
Yeah,
and then to actually implement it
live it.
and live that,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think it's more than probably that 21-day rule of, do something the same, 21 days and, oh, it'll
We're
be
working
great.
on what, 5 or 6 years now, where that slogan comes off my tongue so fast. I probably say it every day to someone.
Yeah.
And my mission is to empower you to use your gifts and talents to rise and soar. I use rise and soar, like my hashtag rise and soar, in almost everything. So it's part of who I am. It's because that it becomes second nature. To create the mission, my personal mission statement is something I teach now. And I'm holding a workshop coming up in March, and probably another one in April or May, where I really show you the foundation on how to build that mission for yourself. Because that sentence wasn't something that just popped in my head someday. There's a method to the madness, and how I came up with empower others to use their gifts and talents to rise and soar. Who am I dealing with? What actions do I have to do? What's the feeling behind it? So I show people how to help them come up with their own personal mission statement. Now, this has nothing to do with photography, nothing to do with the cafes, nothing to do with my children. It's a personal thing. And it's like diving deep into your own personal brand. Like, who am I as a person? What do I want people to see about me? And how do I portray myself to others? But for me, the joy that I get to show other people how to do it, and then become their accountability partner and help them get there, that's my mission. My true mission is to empower you to help you do what I do. How do you do everything in a day? And I'm like, how do you not? Let me show you. I go through the whole alphabet with people, how to find the true purpose in your life, and to stay on target, and to get from A to Z the easy way, which are my initials, EZ, which I incorporate into all my branding stuff. So I lucked out with that one. So there's I find the most joy now by, the only way I can teach it is to tell people what I've done, and to help them understand my journey. It's a long journey, and it comes with a lot of baggage and darkness as well. And I go through that a lot with people. And the biggest thing is sometimes you don't have to hit a rock bottom to be able to succeed and get to where you want to be. So I'll help you maybe get there a little bit quicker.
You know, that's good that you mentioned that, it all didn't come easy and that
Mhm.
there are dark times. And that's what often too often people see the good stuff and say, wow, she's so lucky. Well, you
Yeah.
are lucky with your initials, I have to say. It's just easy, just too good. But yeah, it's a process. And this sounds like something that every human being could
Mhm.
actually
Yeah.
use. Um,
Mhm.
Yes, it's empowering people and with everything that you do.
Mhm.
So amazing. This has been wonderful, Elaine, just the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
of your genius.
Mhm.
Ha Do you have something that you'd like to offer to our listeners?
I'm actually have something coming up. I know it's quick notice, but I'll do them again. On March 19th, right here in my studio, I usually can accommodate anywhere between 15 and 25 people in the studio. It's kind of like more of a boutique styled workshop. It's from 12 to 4. We cover everything from A to Z about really building that foundation of who you are, how to find your purpose, really where to start on even creating your own mission statement. So it's kind of, again, the tip of the iceberg, but 4 hours of what you just heard. And
Mm.
I'm Italian, so I can dump a lot in 4 hours. So, and you get a lot more one-on-one, and then connecting with like-minded people as well that are in the same position. And then we follow up afterwards. That's from 12 to 4 on March 19th. There's the link, I guess, below that people can sign up. I do have some seats available. There are some specials going out there. You're going to get a Z-Craft lunch while you're at it. You'll get copies of my journals when you're here, and really just a time to really begin the foundational work on how to build your purpose and figure out maybe what your mission is as well.
Mhm. And you can go to elainezelker.com / building your foundation workshop,
Correct.
hyphens in between every one of those words. And for our listeners who are wondering, well, where is Elaine? But where is here? Where's the photography
Oh,
studio?
you're
You
here.
want to you want to tell the
Yeah, so
audience
I'm
where you're
actually
at?
in it right now. My photography studio is located at the Simon Silk Mill in Easton off of 13th Street. We just lucked out where our cafe is actually in the same complex. So I get to bop in over there, get some food, check in on the staff, come here. After this, I'll probably maybe hit the Bethlehem location as well and check in there as well. So I'm really
Awesome.
blessed to have this beautiful space here at the Silk Mill to be able to accommodate these smaller type workshops and things as well.
And one day you might take this workshop online so people across the
Yes.
globe could
Mhm.
benefit from it, I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm sure. Yep, I've done things like that before. I've done other types of workshops where we go over like just mastering your. I go through the Ogmandino scrolls, for example, how to build that a different lifestyle for yourself and stuff. So there's so many different avenues I can go, but starting really with the foundation to help people really jump off and leave fear behind and really focus on their purpose is truly what it's in my heart right now to pour into people to help them take that leap and jump and get ready to go. And I want to be their accountability partner with them. So
Awesome. Well, I do have one last question for you, Elaine, and this is, no, so we've heard your journey and what has really changed for you over the years and why you're able to do so much. But when it comes to, let's talk about now, I know you like your paper calendar, but when it comes to technology, what is that one tool that if you didn't have it, you would not be able to function? Let's put it that
oh,
way. Is there something that
awful.
you
I
just
know
love?
it. So honestly, the power of social media. So much of what I teach, even for somebody that barely knows the tip of the iceberg, all the way up to experts, it's free advertising. There's platforms galore to put you and your mission out there. A lot of people, oh, it's too much social media and blah blah blah. Blah. I disagree. I think without it, we can't reach the masses. Like you just said, you can go on social media and reach millions of people. Yeah, you know why? Because of technology. I'm not afraid of it. I will learn. I will never stop learning. If there's something new out there, I'm going to learn how to use it and I'm going to incorporate it. If it doesn't work for me, I don't use it. If it's not empowering me, I don't use it. But if it does, then I'm going to master it and then I'm going to utilize it the best of my ability. So modern technology, I will always be for it. There's a time for it, like because my vision and my values, there's a certain time I turn it off. So I know when it's not needed after a certain time of the day, at the dinner table, on a Sunday. There's certain things I don't do. So there's also a limit to that as well. And that's part of training yourself. If it doesn't align with you, then it may not work for you. So, it benefits, but then you got to know when to say, that's good for now. So,
Very good tips, Elaine. Thank you so much for being my guest today on
you're
Make It Click.
welcome. You're welcome. Have a great afternoon.